probably exhibits something that is much associated with Diogenes, his use of wit to put his point across. Do you remember the story of how he's in the tub or the jar, whatever it might be, and Alexander, on his way through Corinth, comes to visit him and asks if there's anything that he can do for him, and Diogenes' response is, yes, you can just stand out of my light a little. I'm sure he didn't actually say that. I'm sure he didn't live in a tub, or if he did, it was only for a few days. Mm-hmm. But the idea that he was so very witty and could challenge the great man Alexander, I think, is the important fact.
Well, Michel Florent-Morin likes to be called Gypsy Jack. The 64-year-old man also likes to spend his days camped out on the bank of the Ottawa River near the Gatineau end of the Portage Bridge on National Capital Commission land. And that's an activity that the NCC isn't too fond of, and so Gypsy Jack is being evicted. But for him, life goes on.
I've chosen to be in the street years past, and after a while I had no choice. Like you get into a wheel, and you know you cannot stop a wheel from turning. I wouldn't say I'm stuck, but I make it like my mission in life is to stand up for the homeless rights. If we're homeless, it's not because we have problems. Sometimes other people have problems or create problems.
It's part of Gypsy Jack's philosophy, and it's a philosophy that's inspired a philosophically minded film student. Craig Connolly is a third-year Queen's University student who has taken to following Gypsy Jack around lately with a camera, and he joins me in the studio. Morning, Craig.
Every day, same thing. Let my luggage go up. When I first come here, it was all wild. You couldn't see a thing. It was all garbage. It used to be a dump. A few days ago, I found this in the garbage. It's a paint tarp. So I think it fits good here. I don't think my house is too much of a mess. We even add ambiance. Here in the back you have the door, the sleeping room, living room, sitting room, wine. You have the fireplace, table, counter, couch. Look, I have nice carpet. It's all free. Here is the back door. The back door bell. Every door you have a bell, so I know when someone comes, if he comes from the back or from the front. There's a clothing room here. So I had these clothes for several weeks, and I put under on the tarp, and it got wet. So in order to have it smell good, I hang it over here. It's all dry cleaning. The sun deck.
That's the sun deck?
Yeah, sun deck. I'll show you my washing machine. See, that's the washing machine you see here. It was there when I come here. It fills up with water, and I got the soap and I wash.
So that's where you bathe?
No, I bathe in the river. One time I was doing this for dream catcher. You use the roots from the tree,
Let's
the vine, and you the way you twist it. There's a lot in here. Here. And I have another sun back there. And the nude beach. I used to have only this little section in the beginning where I have the I had a kind of mattress, and it was a bedroom. It was a whole house, but now I refurnished, redecorated. Yeah, that's about the tour. Very nice. When I go, I wait till it's dark. And if I have stress and everything, I say, look, how nice. It just kind of erase all the... yeah. When you come here, whistle, I probably be around. Okay, I put it there. I was to put a sign, Craig and Christine. If you show up and you don't see me, whistle, I'll probably be around somewhere in the mansion. So the mansion is so big.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Yesterday you said a bird in a golden cage is still a bird in a cage.
No. You cannot put a bird in a cage even if it's golden.
Even if it's golden.
Yeah. Yes. System wants to put you in a in a cage, and me, I don't go about in the cage because we're not meant to be in the cage. We're meant to be free.
Essentially, is referred to as a cynic philosopher. He was a very, it seems, a confrontational character, created great reaction in the society in which he not so much taught as showed his way of life. He seems to have believed that the best life, the life of the wise man, is lived according to nature, so the most natural possible. And by nature he included not just humans, but animals, gods, the whole part of the world of nature. That brought him into confrontation, of course, with society of the city, or cities that he lived in, because he was rejecting all what he thought were artificial elements of society. We use cynicism, small c cynicism, to mean a kind of a superior look at how people act, or perhaps an interpretation of their motives. Politicians in particular, I think we're very cynical about at the moment. That would not be, I think, quite the use of cynicism as it was in Diogenes' day or immediately after. It's not that direct confrontation to societal norms that the cynics, capital C cynics, were presenting. Some of what we assume by cynicism, small c, I think is contained in that earlier cynicism. because it might have seemed to a good deal of the people who viewed Diogenes and his lifestyle. It's a very provocative lifestyle. But he was, in fact, trying to say how superior his method of life was.
See, me, I have had ideas like how to administrate the whole thing. I could be a good president, but I don't want to because, I'll pass either for a fool or they try to say things wrong to if you're a good man, if you're a good person, they try to destroy you. Because they like it the way it is, most people blind or sleeps, they like it like this. It's like a routine, eh? But I'm no routine person.
What is interesting, I think, about some aspects of his lifestyle, apart from the very difficult way it was achieved. I mean, he lived off the land or lived by begging. He lived in very simple circumstances, very simple clothing. I think what's admirable about Diogenes is his emphasis on equality.
Me, I am for more like a repartition. Take from the rich, give to the poor. The rich, they don't want that. The rich, they want to exterminate the poor. So in order to have more, but even if they have more, would they get more happiness? Money don't buy happiness. Because Mother Nature, she don't need money. When she's tired of all this corruption, she comes out, Rita, Katerina, she destroys everything. And she said, I don't fucking care, you fucking money, you're worth no shit. And she destroyed everything. I believe in Mother Nature. Katerina is my friend. Rita is my friend. And when she destroys, she means that you're not correct. C'est pas correct. You're polluting, you're destroying, and vengeance. C'est la vengeance de la mère, but the Mother Nature is a vengeance. And here she comes to me to say, hey, you old man, be careful. She can destroy like that. You have to respect the mother. Otherwise, the mother will destroy you. No matter how rich you are.
One of the questions, of course, which comes up for all of us is how do we actually deal with the conditions under which we find ourselves? How do we deal with the world which we haven't actually created for ourselves? We need to start off by accepting the nature of reality and in a sense endorsing it, saying this is the real. It can stop us berating the world and grumbling and complaining in a rather helpless, resentful way against things which in fact we are fated to confront and live in. It can actually be an argument for finding a way to have a constructive response to the world. We are born into a world and we actually have to accept where we find ourselves at a moment. Without, and therefore that we do not get full of resentment about where we are, without endorsing that world, to accept what we are, how we are, where we find ourselves, can in fact become a launching off point for change.
My mother found it hard to accept. When I started in 1968, traveling and hit the road, finally my sister told her, listen, you choose to live this life. Oh, I don't want to see my son in the misery. She thinks I live in misery because I'm poor. And I accepted to be poor. I accepted to live this life. Yeah, no problem with that. Bon, okay. So the thing is, sometimes I just put the music on so people believe there's a lot of happening here, and I'm over there just laying in the sun.
Do people ever come through here at all? No.
No. You know, I wouldn't hurt a fly, but people are scared of me. That's the whole fucking problem. The people have difficulty accepting the difference.
And what's
Yeah, we talk about acceptance
Mhm,
the other day.
mhm. And what's the difference? What do you think is the difference?
Well, you're not like a hip hop or a yo. You know, people identify, oh, I'm a yo, I'm a freak, I'm a redneck, I'm a punk, or a skin.
Mhm.
People like to identify with something. You have to belong to some kind of stereotype.
Mhm.
Me, I don't care. I'm just trying to be myself. And I don't know, nobody likes me. But I have a lots of fans. Lots of people love me, but some people hate me. I don't know.
I think that goes for everyone has that
That's the
problem.
problem.
Everyone has that problem.
I don't. I told you. Oh, yeah, you have a problem of acceptance. You start to accept yourself. Now I'm just like
Yeah.
I'm just I don't know.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's just like I don't know what I'm about to do. Like I'm just kind of stuck there. Like, okay, if they take the stuff away, then it's finished here. I turn the page. Actually, I have turned the page. It's one of my things is turn the page. It's time to turn the page. We read this book, and then it's time to turn the page. Après, moi, je m'en vais faire d'autres. This tree was mangé, coupé, chopped by the beaver. The beaver's house is over there. So they couldn't do the whole thing, so I did help them out. Finally, when the Rita came about, the tree falls. So it gives me the wood for my firewood. If they come after the job, it's done.
Given his rejection of society by living outside its boundaries, by living his little self-sufficient life, in that way he's Diogenes. The fact he's living, however, on government land is an interesting one, because like Diogenes seems to have done, he's acknowledging that there is some role in which he's dependent on the state. I always find that tension a very intriguing one. We can reject, but only so far, perhaps, because there is some part of that community that we need. So in that way, Diogenes might be said to, Gypsy Jack might be said to be Diogenes, and the government and the NCC would be the state of Athens or the state of Corinth or whatever, the opponent, the society that he's trying to reject, but can never quite get away from.
You don't have a cellular phone? No. Well, actually, at the top, you were there.
I've been here for a couple hours. I waited for you.
Well, the thing is, they told me 10 o'clock.
Okay.
You haven't seen anyone
No,
around?
no, I've been waiting out front for the last.
Okay. You knew I was coming?
Yeah, I didn't know you were. I didn't know you were coming. I assumed you were.
I don't want to see that, but actually I have to assist them. I wasn't going to do nothing, but actually a friend of mine, Jerry Bouteau, told me, you have to fight for the homeless. And I said, yes. So I fight for myself, and I fight for the site, and I want to see how they're going to destroy that. I called the Sun. They have no time. I was to call Radio Canada or whoever media, but you're there.
Diogenes had to kind of accept some of society's institutional facets in order to get his message across.
Using literature, you mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
And-
and yet at the same time using it as a kind of subversive instrument. So he's accepting it in part and rejecting it, or using it to reject.
So, well, I've read the article, but if whoever is interested, just look here. C8. Look, the nice man. The persecuting. Guilty. He lives in the street. He is the guilty one. You are not allowed to live in the street, live on the park, except on the clouds. That's what I told him. Where do you want me to go?
He used literature then, in some way perhaps subversively, to challenge society. He's a learned man. If he wrote that Republic, then he knows exactly how to present his case in a literary form. It's interesting that there's, at the heart of his cynicism, a kind of a tension, I think, of using the form to challenge the forms.
We at CBC often get our stories from the newspaper, not all the time, but when a good one like this comes along, we jump at it. I saw the pictures, I read the story with great interest, and it just seemed like a natural radio story to me, natural TV story as well for them. And first of all, we were incredibly lucky to find him. We knew that it was somewhere around the Portage Bridge. We didn't know exactly where, and we just ran into you guys on the pathway, so that was lucky to start with.
So same thing. They probably give me a break.
You put that up on your shirt.
You are?
A channel.
We used to be the new RO. It's
Yeah, I sometimes read the newspaper, but
I'll get that for you. You can put that on your belt.
now.
if you have questions, for me it's better because
Sure. This
I'm repeating myself.
this article in
I
the
need
paper.
new questions,
It's
new adventure. I told my friend there, oh there, hi. I need adventure.
You need adventure. Okay, well maybe we'll get
Well,
the tour. I
yeah,
don't
let
really
me
want
do
to
the
be.
tour.
is when I first arrived here.
You can tell me if you want.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to be.
They put not try to put me guilty, but try to put a burden on me, or I don't know how to explain this. When it comes a time to go travel and enjoy, no more harassment, no more. Then they try to find something. Everything was going right. Then they steal my stuff. Another day, everything goes right. Oh, something happened, something bad. I don't know. Maybe.
Do you think that in your lifetime that some of the choices you made has led to where you are right now?
I made a choice once, and now I realize there's no way to go back. I chose to defend the homeless cause, la cause des itinérants. So I chose to be a homeless.
And that's why you've been. Is that why you've been homeless for 30 years?
Well, I'm not a real homeless, to tell you the truth. I'm not a fake homeless, but I'm not a real homeless like the way we see homeless is being on the streets, no clothes, no belongings. I don't see there's no mission there. The NCCs were driving over there. Maybe they have something else to do. Maybe they know I'm here. Actually, you know what? We're on the movie. They have found out they have a camera over there. So every time I come here, they know. They know everything about me. So that's why they don't bother, because I said the whole man don't do no wrong. See, I'm a good person. I do no wrong to no one. I don't understand why the people do me wrong. That's the one thing I want to explain before. You know, I don't do no wrong to no one. Why people keep doing wrong to me? Maybe it's karma. Maybe in the past life I was very bad. I was a tyrann, or I did really bad, to have to come in this lifetime to pay, pay back, pay the bill. Maybe that's what I understand from all the bad that's happened to me, is I'm paying the bills of the past life.
It's a big question, isn't it, as to how far one can reject society. Does one have it? The question is, do you have the right to challenge society to that extent that you become offensive to them? Why not?